One of the things about the beauty of telling the truth to yourself is getting the experience of becoming more mature in telling the truth to yourself. 3.5 years ago, when I uncovered the first kind of discovery of my lies, and the first, on the flip side of that same coin, remembrance of my true self, I thought I had figured everything out. And I was so proud that, like, I'm exposing stuff that people don't say. And there is a necessary period of narcissism and egotism that goes with that initial self-discovery. It's really important that you embody that heroic achievement and that you become the truth under the initial lies. That is how you depart and start the hero's journey, right? Before that, you were asleep. And after that, you are awake. And then after uncovering the lies, you are aware and you have some tools to start to move forward. What I so am enjoying now as I am further in this journey, the journey never ends, and I am always a student and always learning, although I have a decent tool belt, is that as these tools on my tool belt progress, so does the rationale and the capacity for making excuses, for not keeping things really raw. So when you discover those raw truths, you think that you are being as authentic and you'll never go back. And then as humans, we are fallible. Life comes along. You have an incredibly pressing assignment. You run out of time. You can't keep your promises to yourself. You start to fall to the end of the pile, even though you know that when you put yourself last, everything else will suffer. If you do not put on your own mask, you cannot help anyone around you. This is a known truth. Um, so what comes up for me today is kind of a rueful smile of owning the lies that I have been currently telling. They're lies of scarcity, and they're lies of the nature of my adulthood. Now, I always say I'm a grown up, not an adult, because an adult isn't goofy and funny and can't feel joy. To me, that sounds like only business. And grown up means you are taking care of business, but you're still, spinning in circles on the swings or going to the playground and being able to enjoy your magical child. I think that my child was a little more in the driver's seat than I was pretending that she was. So let's leave it like that. Back in the day, this would have been a perfect time for me to self-sabotage further by really flagellating myself and really castigating myself. And that doesn't pay off. All that does is give you a little bit more leeway to fuck up more. And I no longer give myself that leeway. I can give myself the nod of the queen and be like, okay, yeah, okay. So what's your next step? And how are you going to ensure, as simply as you can, that each step is going to be a step in truth? And the way to do that is to keep things as simple as possible. Go back to the things that you know that work. They may seem inconvenient in the moment, but if you know that something works as your foundation, go back to it. So what I challenge you today, my challenge for you today, is to look at something you're struggling with and just look at the way that you're dealing with it. Are you dealing with it head on? Are you making a lot of excuses? Are you having a lot of complex reasoning, like about why you're not kind of coming through or showing up for yourself? So those are the tender questions that I ask you to pose, and I ask you to pose them tenderly. I ask you to not beat yourself up about them, because that's actually the act of being hard on yourself is actually a cop out. It's actually giving yourself room to accept mediocrity instead of excellence. But acceptance of where you are and the promise to do better tomorrow. That's all you have to do. 1% better. That's all you have to do. I used to increase my plank hold time by 3 seconds at a time. 3 seconds, what's that? But it builds. Everything compounds. So that is what has come up for me today. And I will see you tomorrow.